In this lesson, we're going to learn how to copy and drop databases. This is really useful because in SQL, we used to have to go ahead and take a SQL dump and then put that off to a file somewhere. But in Mongo, there's really a quick and easy way to copy and then drop and recopy databases. So, in order to copy a database, it is db.copyDatabase, the database you have and the database you want to create. So if I want to go into here, and you should have done a security video already. So Mongo no longer, well, it works, but if we go ahead and say show DBS, that's not going to work. You will need to connect with admin permissions. So it's, we need to exit first. And let's clear this way. Remember, it's Mongo. We're going to connect or authorize against the admin database. And it's admin. Nope. It is ADB root. And the password is ADB. Now that lets us in, and I can immediately do show DBS, so I know I have full permissions. Now I have a clone in here that I previously created. You you shouldn't have that. I'm going to go ahead and create another clone here. So I'm going to do db.copyDatabase. And this takes two arguments. We're going to copy the ADB database, and this is case sensitive. And I'm going to create ADB clone. Now here it is a caveat. If it goes ahead and says OK, that means it's done. But technically it's not done. Watch what happens when I hit show DBS. My clone is much smaller than my database. What it's doing is copying everything over and putting ADB, the main database, the one we copied from, into a suspended state. Now, it will do updates, it will do deletes, it will do everything and act as normal, but it's really all getting written to a log file. Now, in a moment or two, you see it grew automatically. That's because things are getting written over to the clone database. Eventually, they'll be approximately the same size. Sometimes it's a little bit smaller because it'll go ahead and reorganize the data and have less blanks in there, sort of like if we deleted data, it will create more room. How would you put it, like hollow spots? Let's run it again. Yeah, it's still at 11 gig. It may, or 0.011 gig. It may actually stop there. It may get a little closer, I'm not sure. But the point is, during that few seconds, or if it's a multi-gig database, it's copying the data over. We can still do stuff to the main database. So in SQL, we told you to go ahead and make a SQL dump, maybe at the beginning of doing a lab, just in case something goes wrong. I've gotten into the habit of actually creating a clone and then do my work, and if everything's fine, we're good, I'll drop the clone. So how do we drop a database? Well, go ahead and use the database and then do db.drop database. So right now, I'm going to say let's use ADB clone. And if I do show collections, we can see that it's exactly the same. All the parts, collections from the work we've done. And now I can say, now that I know I'm in the clone database, db.drop database. Yep. Now here's the deal. There's no undo. If I do show DBS, the clone is gone. There is no way to undo this. It erases everything. It's gone forever. However, I want to show you one more thing. If I go into my clone, actually let's create another clone. Let's run that a second time. I'm going to create a clone, that way I have a backup. Now I'm going to say let's use that copy database, ADB clone. If I do show collections, let's say I want to get rid of the test collection. It's db.the collection name, so test.drop. Once again, it's gone and there is no undo button. So whether you're using drop database or collection.drop, It's instant and there's no undo. So make sure you know what you're doing when you use that. And again, to go back to the security portion, don't ever do that unless you're sure you're going to be wanting to drop it. Sorry, let me take a step back here. Don't grant people drop permissions unless you want them to have them. Because in experience, I've had an intern or a young person thought they were on development, they hit drop, it's gone, and it turned out to be production data. So make sure you control who has drop authority.